please like, hit the notification bell, hit that subscribe button, man. 2 reasons. 1, because it's free. It ain't gonna cost you nothing, you cheap bastard. And then 2, trying to get you 2,000 subs. Probably shouldn't have just called you a bastard. Let's get to it.
Let's have a conversation instead of you victimizing yourself and complaining about what I'm saying. Please talk.
This is actually quite funny because first you already told me I was a victim, and now you're saying
can we have a conversation instead of you talking about what I'm doing?
But this is the law is about, right? I was asking about what you talked about in the beginning.
Let's have a conversation about that.
If you read the comments.
Stop talking about the comments. Talk about you.
What about me?
You and me. Let's have a conversation. Stop worrying about all this other stuff. So, what is your issue?
My issue is I feel as though you come from a one-sided perspective. Okay. I feel like you blame the woman for everything. Not saying that she is not to be held accountable, because she should, because she's a person, not because she's a woman, but because she's a person. I find a lot of your content more so abusive. Now, probably not gonna like that word, but abusive towards women that are actually.
If you find this content abusive, why do you watch?
Not the women that you're saying, and those women that don't reflect the women that you talk about, they actually been hurt by men. So what I'm saying is, when we're trying to help bring balance to our community, both men and women, we have to be mindful of the masculine and feminine divine energy that we have inside of ourselves. You said, and went earlier, this is not nobody else's words, but this came out of your mouth, that men were here to provide and protect and not be empathetic. So you're talking about having a conversation. I would love to be able for you to be able to unpack that for me in terms of why you feel as though a man, especially a man who wants a woman to lead with her femininity, how is it that you feel as though a man should not be empathetic to a woman in her pain, but then wants that same woman to then create the peace for him?
A man is to protect and provide, not to be empathetic. It's not that he's saying men shouldn't have empathy. It's that being empathetic is not our top priority, because being empathetic is more of a feeling-based emotion. And I've said this before, and I'll continue to say this. Our emotions are not our top priority, and that's the difference between men and women. Women, their feelings are their first, second, and third priority.
So my answer to that is our number one jobs as men is to provide and protect, not empathize.
Exactly.
Okay? It's a part of who we can be. But our number one and number two primal ways of operating as men is protect and provide.
Yep.
Okay? Yes, we empathize. But the thing about it is, when we men are raised by single mothers, which I'm against, we are not taught how to protect and provide. We are actually being protected by our mother bears instead of being taught on how to protect and provide. So all we know how to do as young men being raised by single mothers is to empathize. And that is not necessarily conducive to a man of leadership, because we, just as a general of an army platoon, he ain't got time to be empathized. There's a certain time to empathize, but at one point we're in war, or we got to get over this mountain, or we got to do what we got to do, or we got to find food, we got to find a watering hole, we got to find somewhere to hide. We have to protect and provide, which is water, food, and somewhere to hide so we won't get shot.
And he made a point about something that I hadn't considered as a man or as a boy, learning your leadership from your mom. My mom and my dad weren't together, but my dad was always in my life. So I lived with my mom. My dad would always come get us. My mother didn't have to teach me leadership. My father taught me leadership. Hearing men talk about being raised by a single mom, I can't relate to it. Conversations like these can give you insight into something that you didn't witness growing up. My dad didn't live in the home, but my dad was always in my life. So I had that male guidance. I had that male figure. But I did also realize at a young age that I was in the minority, because the vast majority of my cousins didn't have their dad around. Camera, I'm sorry. I need to focus on this one.
Empathizing is last. But as men being brought up by women, a lot of men simply know how to empathize
and not lead,
not protect and provide, because there's no father in the household. So when I talk so much about women, it's because most of us were raised by women.
It definitely makes sense, but I just feel like it's one-sided. Let me
just say this. Let me just say this one little part. In most of our lives, our household was one-sided.
Right.
Mother, no father. Even in your entire family dynamic, it's full of women. Let me ask you this. I don't know you. Is your family 90% women?
Yeah, of course.
That's what I'm saying. So
But that's
when you
wait.
we on to something. So with that being said, if the majority of black families are not only one person being raised by a woman, but our entire families are full of women, and you see black people screwed up everywhere, it's not the person that left, it's the person that stayed. That's the problem. And we have to figure out why this is. So when you hear me say women, which is cool, I'll take that, because there's no men. And there's a reason why there are no men. If the majority of black families are full of women, you don't see that there's a problem with that. The majority of us are raised by women, and our families are full of women, and there are no men. Is that a problem?
That's a problem. That's what I'm saying. We need to bring in the accountability of the men. Where are the men?
The reason why there are no men in these 30 million households that are, or families that are full of women, is because women, to a certain degree, are choosing men
picking poorly
that are unable and incapable of leading the family in the first place. And the reason why they're doing this purposely is because of the innate need of control. So she actually finds a man to have a baby with that is incompetent, unable, and incapable of leading her, because she simply wants a baby. The average black woman does not necessarily believe she will ever get married. Why? Because her mother, the person that raised all of us, her mother, her single mother, couldn't get married. So she projects those feelings into her daughter, into her son. And what ends up happening is she does not necessarily care or believe in marriage growing up, but the number one thing that her single mother taught her, because that's the only thing her single mother can teach her, is what she knows, which is this one thing, which is how to be a mother.
There's some truth in that statement. Single mothers teach their single daughters what little that they know. I don't even necessarily agree with him when he said them teaching them how to be a mother. They just know how to have babies.
So the young girl grows up knowing one particular thing: motherhood. So she goes out not seeking a husband, but seeking motherhood. She doesn't know how to cohabitate with a man. She doesn't know how men think. She doesn't understand men because she wasn't raised around a man. She didn't see a man in her household. Her mom doesn't understand men. Her mother seems to hate men. Her mother tells her don't trust a man. So she has no understanding of men in any shape or form. But the only thing she knows how to do is the one thing her mother knows how to do, which is mother. So
I guess we saying the same thing.
The young girl mothers her siblings. She mothers her friends. She ends up mothering her own mother. Some age, you start telling your mama what to do. And she gets with a man, and she has to mother her man. But strong men don't want to be mothered. So what type of man does she choose? Or is she stuck with a man she can mother? So she has a baby by a man that is, to a certain degree, her son. That is where all the men are.
Beta.
They're children in grown people's bodies because, one, they were raised by a mother, they were protected by a mother, and all they know how to do is be somebody's son. So they get with a woman that will mother him because she is the reincarnation of his mother, and he grows up being with a woman that is his mother. And he has a baby with this woman. All she wants is a baby and control, because when she has a baby by a man that is incapable of anything, because he is a son to a certain degree, she can do whatever it is that she wants. She can keep the baby away from the man. She ain't got to worry about no custody battles. She ain't got to worry about nothing. He can't get a lawyer. He can't do nothing. All she wants him to do is to pay child support. Because at the end of the day, all she knows how to do is mother. So all she wants is a child. And she did it. And now the dude is free to go.
He made a point there, and that's something that I have been thinking for a long time. And this is more of the hood mentality. A lot of women, unfortunately, in the black community, they look at as children as a check. A lot of guys are going to think, well, duh, Theo, obviously. Thinking more like, celebrities or like, no. A lot of women having a baby with the average dude, no matter what you're doing, man, $15 an hour working at Amazon in the warehouse. That hood mentality with that poor mentality. So many of our women will have a baby with a dude and put him on child support. Don't even get me started on the child support issue. But a lot of women will have a baby and put him on child support the minute the baby comes out. But a lot of them will do that and they'll get the baby. I don't think they necessarily even go out to go and have a baby or get pregnant. But they know this. All right, I'm pregnant. I won't have an abortion. I'm going to have this baby and I'm going to put him on child support. Regardless of what type of man that he is, regardless of what type of income he earns. And that is because that's all they know.
And if a man doesn't have responsibilities, if a man doesn't know what the hell he's doing, if a man is incapable of leaving, he will oblige and say, oh, you want me to leave? I'm out because I don't know what the hell I'm doing either anyway, because I wasn't raised by a man, so I don't know how to be a man of leadership anyway, because you chose a man like me anyway, so he's welcome to just up and leave, and he leaves.
So they need a man who they feel like is unthreatening to.
Yes, that's it. The non-threatening man.
So if I feel like you're somehow less than me, as if I'm your mother, or you're not a strong man, or I'm not going to get a lot of opposition, then you're safe.
Yes.
So if we have a weak man, at least we have a man for show.
And somebody to make a baby with.
Exactly. Not somebody who's going to lead us because they're not qualified to lead in the first place. Mm-hmm. So then it becomes that mother-son type relationship.
Exactly. So I like the word you use, non-threatening. The young lady asked, okay, so Aaron, why is it that is so many single mothers and most black families are full of women? The typical woman searches out to be a mother first, because that's all she's raised to be, is a mother. She doesn't know how to be a wife. She doesn't know how to be cooperative. She doesn't know how to listen. She don't know how to do it. All she knows how to do is mother other people. She mothers her cousin. She mothers her sisters. She mothers her brothers. She mothers her own mother. She mothers her uncle. She mothers everybody. So she gets with a man, and all she knows how to do is mother. And the only man that is accepting of a woman that is a mother is a man that was babied by his mother, and she becomes the reincarnation of his mother, and he is now the non-threatening man that she chooses to have a baby with. But because he's non-threatening, because he's inept, he's incapable, he's unable to be a leader, he doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know how to be a parent, and he gets the hell on. One, either by his own just laziness, or she belittles him and berates him and emasculates him so much to the point where he just gets the hell on because he can't deal with it no more, or she leaves him.
Right, or even when he's still there, he's still absent.
Makes me kind of grateful, man, because I don't think I had a lot of these issues with my mom, man. Like, I didn't have those issues. I didn't have like the son husband or none of that type thing. My deal with my mom more was that my mother never really made much money. So I felt more like we were a burden to my mom because she struggled financially. My dad was always there. I heard Mr. Samuels say it before. Women raise the men that they complain about. Single moms raise the men that they hate. They raise beta males. And that only makes sense logically because women can't raise men. It's like extremely difficult for men to raise daughters. You need to have someone of that same sex to teach them. Hey, what the hell do I know? I'm just a pothead talking on YouTube. After parting in the comments, it's your boy Theo Coop. Hopefully my camera's working next time. Do better.